Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we're just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits as it should. It's been a little bit of a busy morning for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your morning. Hopefully you guys saw something this morning that you hopefully enjoyed. If you didn't, I'm sorry. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly recommend you guys go check out the most recent upload I just put on this main channel. Yes, it is a complete left turn from the stuff that we have been talking about. It's something just lighthearted and fun. We got to have a little bit of fun every once in a while. If we don't have fun, Jack becomes a very dull boy, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this should be a very interesting press conference that we're waiting on. Should be happening in about 11 minutes from now. And we should find out some new information, whether or not the Menendez brothers are going to be set free, or if there's going to be another trial all over again for a chance for them to be resentenced and to be set free, or to just stay there for the rest of their remaining days. We shall find out. But there is a lot going on. Of course, I'm sorry, I'm keeping an eye on some things because some things are going on, some movements going on in regards to this press conference. But they say that it's not supposed to happen until much later. People are walking around, so it must be a sound check. But anyway, do me a favor before we get into everything. Please do me a solid. Hit that like button down below. Please and thank you. Hit that reaction button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Crush it. If you're watching on the TikTok, just so you know, it will be played on my YouTube. So you may not be able to hear it here, but I will be giving recaps on what this press conference is all about. And this is a very, very big deal because this could be something big for future trials. Real talk. Anything that's close to this kind of case could be reopened because of evidence that has been withheld for years or decades. You never know. So hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. Make sure you hit that follow button. So follow me on the TikTok. Follow me on Rumble. Follow me on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram. I'm on all those platforms. Please and thank you. Show some love. Subscribe here on my main channel. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Go to my secondary channel because we got a lot of things going on. There's so much news be newsing out here. So make sure you are subscribed to both channels. The secondary channel is called the Pascal Show Clips. So make sure you are subscribed to the second channel because there's a lot of things I'm covering over there that may not be covered here on the main channel. And there are things that I'm talking about there that could be discussion pieces that we talk about in our live shows. So make sure you are subscribed to both. Make sure those notification bells are set to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random and a lot of it has to do with breaking news stuff. Okay? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon and my locals. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show and locals.com/The Pascal Show. And let's not forget, I got that fantastic merch. Go check out my merch, doggone it. Dadgammit. Go check it out. PascalMerch.com. We got some really fantastic stuff over there as well. Okay, guys, let's get into this. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys all had a wonderful morning. Hopefully, you guys got a chance to check out the video I put out. Okay, I did a video and like Jasmine, that's very sweet of you to say, Pascal out here just singing. Yeah, I was having a little bit of fun. You know what I mean? Just trying to have a little bit of fun. It is Halloween time, so it's time to have a little bit of fun, not take ourselves so seriously, and just have a little bit of fun. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check it out, please go and check it out when you get a second. Like I said, we talk about a lot of just doom and gloom, a lot of serious stuff, and it's nice to just kind of have fun and act a fool. So I had a little bit of fun and shared that. So check it out. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more later on after this press conference. Marissa, thank you so much for the super chat, super sticker. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Of course, Fly Girl, thank you so much for being a member for the past 6 months. I appreciate you. Thank you, Pascal. No, thank you. Because, I mean, without you guys and your support, I would not be doing any of this stuff. So it really does mean a lot. And also, this morning was a very surprising and very overwhelming thing that happened, which I really, really appreciate because, it gives me more confidence in doing more of that. It's something that I really love doing. It's something that I love, but I don't get to do it very often. So, and when you don't do it a lot, you feel like you lost it and you don't have that skill anymore. And so it's nice when you guys, react in the way that you have been. Okay. It really does mean the world to me. Now, and of course, we'll talk more about this in a little bit because we're here for the main event and the main topic. You see it up above, down below, wherever you're watching this here. And here it is. The DA is supposed to be coming out and speaking on whether or not the Menendez brothers are going to get a chance at being resentenced. Now, let me say this. This will be very shocking if it does happen. I know a lot of people are expecting this to happen. A lot of people are already expecting this to actually go down. But and this is what I appreciate about this article, because it's like, what does it mean exactly? Does it mean that if they go to trial, as soon as the trial's over, they get to walk? Do they do 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 more years and then they can walk? Do they just, as soon as the DA, Gascón, comes out and says what he needs to say, does this mean that they get to walk right now? Does it mean that they get to open up the doors and by tomorrow morning they are outside breathing in that freedom air? I am quite curious about it. But let's take a look at this because we still are waiting on a few things. Let me show you what I mean. They are still waiting. The family, it looks like, of the Menendez brothers are off to the side. That's why you see all these cameras over there. The lawyer, their lawyer, was over there kind of like hugging family members of the Menendez brothers and all that. So now you see press is running over there just trying to take snapshots. They're trying to get something for their articles and for their news outlets and whatnot. But let's get into this because we got like 4 minutes or so. So we're going to breeze through this piece, this article. But what could this actually mean if he calls for a resentencing? So the Menendez brothers may be a step closer to potential freedom, with the LA District Attorney Gascón expected to recommend Thursday that a judge review their case and resentence them. Apparently, this is what a source is saying to the New York Times. So it would be really crappy if we find out that this source is wrong, right? This would be really crappy if he goes up here and he goes, I still think that they need to stay locked up. But a source is saying that this DA is supposed to come out and say, yes, there is enough for grounds. There's enough evidence for grounds for resentencing here. That means the brothers, who have been locked up since 1996 after a jury convicted them of unaliving their millionaire parents in their Beverly Hills homes 7 years earlier, may soon see their sentence commuted. Only good can come from resentencing for Lyle and Eric. They're currently serving life sentences without parole in a California prison outside San Diego, a whale's vagina. Anyway, Gascón, a progressive who's struggling with his bid for re-election. Interesting that they put that information in here. Will announce his recommendation in a Thursday afternoon press conference. The supposed Resentencing recommendation is just that. However, and the ultimate decision on resentencing will lay with a LA County judge. So he'll sit there and go, hey, we really think that they should get resentenced. That's what should be happening. But it is also up to an LA County judge to look at that and say, yes, this is grounds for resentencing. Yes, we need to reopen everything and get this thing back up and moving. So that is very interesting. All he can do is recommend. And then it goes straight over to a judge, and then the judge will sit there and say, yes. Or, nah, keep them mother lovers locked up because that's what it is. So, again, Elvia on TikTok said, election year? Yeah, this is what's so interesting about this. Could this DA be saying this or going out here to say this because of getting some votes? I don't know. Because it's election year, I have no idea. Okay? Don't know, but that's very interesting nonetheless. That judge, moving on, should he heed to the DA's request, he will be given the Herculean task of weighing old evidence from the men's highly publicized trials with the new. Remember, they had a pair of mistrials. They were in and out of trials quite a bit. And then finally, it came to a head where they were found guilty and thrown in prison. And again, this was a very tough one because people felt some type of way about what happened here. Some people believe that what they did was out of protection. And some believe that this happened out of malice, out of pure bloodthirsty malice, out of wanting to get the parents' money, and that's it. The desire of that. But this is interesting that the DA is what they're saying is, oh, this is all a political move for the DA. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. But all I know is that this is going to be very, very interesting when this whole thing gets on and popping. And again, it's going to be, again, up to the judge. If the DA says, yes, rerun it, run it back, y'all, they need to be resentenced. It's going to be up to a LA County judge to make that decision on if they're going to go any further with this whole thing. Now, let me show you guys this too. Family, it looks like more family is starting to show up. More people showing up and representing for the Menendez brothers. And I guess we're still waiting on the actual thing to get started. But people are coming together. And I guess we're going to find out very, very soon, very shortly, whether or not these, we're going to find out something. That's for sure.
Test. 1, 2. Test.
Yeah,
1,
they're
2.
testing stuff. They're just testing stuff for right now. But again, yeah, I mean, what poll, Starry Night? What should I, because everyone's like, Paul, what do I do a poll? The same poll that I've done 15 times over about this? Is that what it is? I mean, I'll take a look. If that's what you want me to do, I'll make a poll about it. Fine. If it. Let's do it. And guys, please don't forget, hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. That would really, really mean a lot. Hit that like button down below. Hit it. And I'll put out another poll. What should I say? Let's see. Should the brothers be resentenced? Absolutely. No. And of course, everyone likes this one too. IDK. Ellipses. There you go. Very, very simple one. Should the boys be resentenced? Absolutely, heck no. Or one that you guys all love, IDK. I don't know. So, should they be resentenced? My only thing, and so get your ass to the poll. Get your ass to the poll. But one thing I have a feel like the one thing I got an issue with, all right? This is my thing. And I'm still wanting to know how can they for sure make sure that was authentic and authenticated during that time. That's the only thing as far as the writing, as far as the letter that he wrote to his cousin, that Eric wrote to his cousin. How do we know for sure that that letter is 100%? The other part I have to say as well, because we have to jump on both sides of the fence. We have to sit on that fence and be very uncomfortable. But the next question I have is this, and you guys have to think about it just a little bit, because I know everybody's has their minds made up and whatnot. But here's the thing. Think about this for a second. Think on the side of if they did this and if they did this with malicious intent, that they were planning on doing this so that they can live off of mom or off of daddy's money, which he had millions and millions of dollars in the bank, and a lot of it was going to go to the kids. Lots of money. Could they have put this whole thing together, constructed this whole thing so that they can get away with unaliving their parents? Hey, write this little letter. Have that so we at least have a breadcrumb showing proof positive that we were SA'd by our parents or by our dad, so on and so forth. Like I said, I'm just asking the questions. I know a lot of people feel some type of way about this case. I am not trying to get anybody upset or angry. I'm just asking the questions. Because if you really think about it, the documentary, not the documentary, but the show that they did a whole thing about this, the Menendez brothers, they even entertained that theory as well, that this was all malicious, that this was premeditated, and that they did all of this so that they can secure a bag, a massive bag. That they had no intent on, that there was no SA at all. Now, they entertained that theory. Not saying that they said, oh, that's true, but they entertained the theory. So again, I have to put that out there because I'm wondering why it just seems so odd. The way that they took their parents' lives and the way that they did is pretty intense. And one thing that's really sad about this is that we will never hear the parents' side of the story because they're gone. So we can only rely on two boys that did this unthinkable thing in a very privileged neighborhood, nice, quiet suburban area. So again, this letter, I ask how real and how authentic that letter really is. And I think that that's something I think that we're all going to sit with and wonder as well. But get your butts to the poll. Let me know what your thoughts are. They're running a little late here. But in the meantime, let me get some of these super chats and stuff out of the way. Rianne, thank you so much for gifting one membership. I appreciate it. And for whoever just got gifted, please be sure to pay it forward. Somebody like Rianne just gave you some positivity. All I ask is for you to pay it forward with some positivity. Okay? So just do that. All right? Tired as a mug. Thank you so much. Pascal, the mic magician, news, crime, and the vocals. Hey, thank you so much. Yes, again, I did a little parody song, a parody holiday Halloween parody song on Teddy Swim's Lose Control, as if it was Freddy Krueger singing the song. You'll get it if you see it, but it's a parody. So it's all for comedy. We had a good time. That mask is very, very hot. That was very, very sweaty. But I had a really great time putting it together, and hopefully you guys got a chance to laugh and maybe share with your friends or whatever, you know? So thank you so much. And we're still waiting for this press conference, guys, just so you know. Let's see. April, thank you so much for being a member. For the past 1 month, I appreciate it. Thank you for being you and bringing joy and laughter into my life every day. Oh, thank you so much, April. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. It's an honor to be able to do what I do. I love what I do. So I just want to be able to do more. I just want to have opportunities to have more time to do more. That's the thing. Baby steps. Baby steps, though. S-Dubs, of course, one of my great mods. Thank you so much for being a member for the past 20 months. They could have been evaluated for said A. Hit that like, please. You got a point. But see, I'm wondering why that stuff was omitted and not this letter. Why this letter wasn't put in the trials in the past. Why this one was just kind of overlooked or sealed or whatever the hell it was. Why wasn't it used in the trials in the past? I think that's very interesting too. Now it's being evaluated now, and that could be the very thing that gets these guys out of prison early. That's wild, in my personal opinion. Edie, sorry. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. You're forgetting about the Menudo band member. Yes, you're right. And a Menudo band member, yes, that is true, who came out and said dad ate him too when he was young. You're right. You're absolutely right. And that's some pretty damning information as well. Of course, that'll make any person, I would assume, any lawyer, any judge, any court, pump the brakes when it comes to that. But it's wild because you'd think that, I guess, better late than never. I guess it's better late than never, but still, I can see a lot of people. I can see the two men being like, man, where were you like 30 years ago, man? You know, that's pretty wild. It just comes out now. It's wild. Or a couple years ago. And it could very well be the thing that saves these guys. Wild. Wild. Let me hear a little bit. Let me see if we can hear anything that's going on in here.
Everyone, we'll get started in a few moments.
Have mercy. Yeah.
Our three speakers. Today will go first. Afterwards, we're not taking a ton of questions. We've given a lot of folks sit downs the last few weeks, so we think we've covered that. But you will have a few opportunities, but not a ton. There's too many folks in here.
Also Spanish?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I was just talking to the TikTok, just letting them know what's going on. All right. But we're still waiting on this press conference to get going. And this should be very, very interesting. But we're still waiting. We are still waiting. Yeah, sorry, guys. I was just, like I said, talking to TikTok because I know as soon as it gets started, they're all going to say the same thing. So I just wanted to make sure that they fully are knowing what's going on before this press conference goes on and popping. All right. Come on, y'all. Oh, boy. And we wait. And now we wait. But please don't forget to go over there, get your butts to the poll. Let me know what you think. Do you think they deserve a resentencing? Do you think they should stay the rest of their lives in prison for what they did? Or do you not know? Those are your choices on the YouTube channel. Dan, the breaking news man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in and being a part of the show, being a part of the conversation. Of course. Okay. So this, see, they served enough time. Okay. So my question to you guys, again, I am not the gatekeeper here. Clearly, I'm not. It's up to the courts and what they decide to do. But do you think that, I mean, they admitted and were guilty of M? Let's not forget that. Grisly act, by the way. Vicious, point blank range type ish, guys. That's the only thing I want to point out. Now, again, what they did is pretty vicious. Do they really deserve freedom after doing something that none of us should be doing? That's the question I'll ask. Now, of course, if they get a lesser sentence, they get resentenced and they get a lesser sentence, then yeah, okay, of course. Then it is what it is. But at the same time, you got to remember, they planned this out, y'all. They planned this out. They went to various pew shops so that they can try to buy a particular weapon without any connection with their ID. They got fake IDs so that they can go and do that. Again, you got to remember all the things that were done before the actual act happened. Now, I get it that these young men were going through some things with their parents, but it is very, I mean, the actual premeditation is very, it's shocking. It's very shocking. So you got to remember all that too. And I think that that's going to be a conversation that they're going to have if there's going to be a resentencing trial. Remember, this resentencing trial, I mean, they did that with intent. They did that in cold blood. Sorry, not sorry. Now, I know what Daddy did, disturbing and wrong, deplorable, disgusting, unthinkable. They also walked in there and they thought this out. This was not just something where they're running away and then bang, bang, and self-defense type situation. They planned this whole thing out. I feel like we can't take that off the table. And then, this also makes me think of like the movie A Time to Kill. Like the movie A Time to Kill. In that particular movie with Samuel L. Jackson, yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. That whole thing. Clearly, it was a crime of passion. He walked in because of what these two men did to his daughter, right? And then he did what he did. Crime of passion. Whereas this situation, and I know it's a movie, but I'm using this as an example, right? I know it's a movie. But then in this situation, they sat and they thought this out for a time. Got everything that they needed to get to put together, and then they attacked and then took the parents' lights out. Like I said, that can't be denied. But then I feel like it's also another thing that it's going to be up to the jury if it goes into another trial. And you never know. They might walk tonight. They might walk out tomorrow morning. You never know. And good on them if that's the truth, if that's the situation. But I just truly think that if they had all of that, they did this, sure, what they went through is terrible, but it will be up to a jury to make that decision whether or not that malicious that what they endured outweighs the premeditation of taking their parents out. At least that's what I'm thinking. I could be absolute. I mean, I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy with a microphone and a camera. But something to me, I'm like, man, yeah, I know they went through some things for sure. And that stuff is unbelievable. And made the Menendez parents, made Jose be rotting right now in hell for what he is alleged of doing. But at the same time, though, there was premeditation to this. There was a plan. They exacted that plan. And that plan worked until one of them slipped up and started talking. So, something to think about. But get your butts to the poll. I see so far, 57% of you guys say absolutely. Absolutely, they should be resentenced. That's what's up. That's what's up. I don't think that, but here's the thing. I think in this particular case, there is no such thing as a bad answer. Yeah. I don't think there's such thing as a stupid answer. So if you stand on the side of like, yeah, they should still be locked up for the remainder of their days, I don't think you're wrong in that. If they get a resentencing and they get to walk in a day or two, then it's not wrong either. But if they go to trial, it'll be up to the jury to come up with their own decision on whether what they endured outweighs the unaliving of two individuals. Because that's really what it means. If they go, yeah, give them a shorter sentence, they can leave tomorrow. We find them we find them only guilty on manslaughter, and the M, no, not anymore. And that means they get to leave. They get to walk, depending on what the judge says after that verdict. But that would mean that their team would show to the jury that their act of M is a lesser crime than what they went through as boys from their father. That's interesting. And that'll be a very interesting argument to present to a jury. And I hope that there's cameras in this one, because I would see this. I want to see how they do their magic, because that would be a magic trick. Well, I know that they're gone. I know that they murdered them. But still, like, you know what I mean? That's pretty wild. That's a pretty wild thing. Pretty wild argument to put out there and present to a jury. So I'd be very interested to see how they present it and how they really plant that seed into the brains of the jury. They need if it don't fit, you must acquit. They need something like that. It can't just be a letter and a former Menudo member when it comes to the trial. Sure, it's enough for them to reopen it. I think this is enough for them to reopen it for sure. I do. But is it enough for the jury to go, well, so because he wrote that thing and Menudo and all that? I'm like, the Menendez team will have to do everything they can. They'd have to be real. They'd have to be real crafty with this mug. Get the glove out. It's nowhere near me. It's gone. It's nowhere near me, y'all. It's nowhere near me. The glove. But you see what I'm saying? So that'd be a very interesting argument and a very interesting presentation that the defense would have, that the Menendez brothers team would have, if it sees the inside of a courtroom. Let me grab some of these super chats here, though. Prophetess, thank you for the super chat. Here in California, they have, I guess, they have recommended it all over TV. Why is AP late? I don't know why I looked at that and I thought it was appellate. I'm like, why? What? Is she misspelling appellate? Why is AP late? That's what I'd like to know too. Where's the DA? Why are they so super late? I mean, they should have been on 25 minutes ago. Real talk. So where's the DA? I mean, these are all lovely people that we're looking at, but I'm kind of getting tired of looking at them. You know? Where's everybody? Was there a curveball? Did they find out that the letter is a lie? I'm kidding. I wouldn't do, seriously, I'm kidding. But you never know. Maybe there's a curveball. Maybe he finds out that doesn't matter. He realizes the public don't care about this for, in regards to his reelection. So maybe he's like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'll get there when I get there. Maybe he's still finishing up his sushi and his beer before he gets there. I don't know. This is weird, though. So weird. Let me unmute this and see what they're talking about or what we can hear. Messy ball. Just so you know, people are seeing the poll because people are still voting. Poll is still there. So you might want to refresh. Okay. Refresh if you can't see the poll. If you're having trouble, like voting in general, you can't, you know what I mean? Then just refresh the feed and you should be right as rain. We shall see. But let me know if you can't. Anyway, Stacy, thank you so much. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Just like Stacy, come on. Consider becoming a member. Join the fam if you can. Carolera, what's up? Thank you so much for being a member for the past 19 months. This is a long time. Man, rounding to 2 years. That's a long time. All I want to know is if this was done for them, will it also be done for others? That is something that I'm wondering about as well. Because you got to remember, there are a lot of other people that are incarcerated right now that are still singing that they're innocent all day long. Or they're saying there's this one piece of evidence that was never used, and it's the smoking gun evidence that can exonerate me, that shows proof positive that I'm innocent. This could very well be the opening to Pandora's box. Real talk. To all the old, huge, possibly high-profile cases that have been looked at before, this could start something new, a new wave of stuff, all over again. And that would be interesting to see as well. Mrs. and Mr. Steelers, what's up? Thank you so much for being a member for the past 29 months. You see, we got members that stick around for a long time because they are fire. And, you know, they know what they're getting by supporting this channel. So please hit that join button down below. Become a member, okay? This is exciting for the brothers. Hi, everyone. Or actually, I should say it like this. This is exciting for the brothers. Hi, everyone. Is that how it was supposed to be? Because I know this is Mrs. Steeler saying this, not Mr. Right? I'm kidding. But still, I can see the I can feel the excitement. And yes, it should be very exciting for the brothers. They probably got that nervous pee going on. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You already peed like 3 times, but you still feel like you need to pee because you're so nervous. That happens to me all the time. And I guarantee you they're probably sitting at the edge of their seat, chilling, waiting for a new update on a possibility of freedom. That'll be wild. Are they coming out or not? Hamburger. Woo. Okay, you know what? No, it's nervous poops, Pascal, not pee. What? Holy cow. How's it nervous poops, Jess? What's going? Could you be lactose intolerant? Have you checked what you're eating before you go and do something that makes you anxious and nervous? Because now I'm worried. Now I'm asking for a very concerned friend. What's going on here? Nervous poops. I've never heard that before. A nervous poo. Why are we talking about this? What is going on? But seriously, I've never heard of like, if you just gotta go, you gotta go. That's it. But not like I've heard nervous pee, but a nervous, that's a new one. That's a no. Suddenly you're just like that. Woo! I gotta drop a deuce. That's a new one. Thank you so much. Thank you. That just made things awkward. Very awkward today. Thank you. Let's get on back to nervous poo, though. Bagoosh? That's funny. That is funny. That is funny. But let's move on. Because we're not here to talk about that. Dookies. Let's move on. Rian, thank you so much. Hold on. I'm putting this up just in case, because the camera moved. Maybe they're finally going to make their moves out here. Maybe they're done dropping a deuce. So, Rian, thank you so much. We here are thinking this might be a conference with the judge's decision, roundtable, you know, then bring news to public. Free Menendez brothers. Yeah, I think that this is what's going on. I think that they are in another room having a discussion, and then they're moving into here to let us know what the verdict is going to be, or what the decision's going to be. Not the verdict, but you know what I'm saying. So you are right. That could very well be what it is right now, but we'll see what happens here. But they're just taking the sweet ass. See, now that doesn't work too, because we just talked about poo. So they're just taking their time. I can't even say sweet ass anymore, because now we're talking about poo. Let's get into this. And P, thank you so much for being a member for 2 years. Thank you so much. Dag now. This is a great channel, everyone. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Real talk. You know, y'all around here like, this is a great channel. Wow. Everybody's so crazy talking about poo. It's amazing. Hi. Yeah. Isn't that great? He's talking about poo. Ha! I love this channel. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I appreciate it. But let me pull up another video, because this is just And watch me like leave this, and then that's when they start to saunter in with their lazy late ashes. But okay. Like I said, I feel like they're doing a power hour. You know what I mean? They're just like, go, But this is really annoying. So we gotta get into this and see what is popping off. But I do want to play a video here. News clip. Let's take a look at this.
Good morning and welcome to the KTLA 5 Morning News at 11 a.m. I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Lou Parker. Thanks for joining us. We begin with breaking news. LA County District Attorney George Gascón is expected to announce a resentencing decision today for convicted murderers Eric and Lyle Menendez.
The brothers are currently serving life sentences for killing their parents more than 30 years ago. This could offer them a chance at freedom. KTLA 5's Corrine Winter live now in downtown LA with more. Corrine?
Lou and Glenn, yes, a lot is riding on this decision today by LA County District Attorney George Gascón, and it could be an important step, an important legal step forward in the possible release of the Menendez brothers who've been incarcerated for decades. Now, that announcement coming from George Gascón around 1:30 today. He'll be addressing the media here in downtown Los Angeles, and no confirmation yet on exactly what he could be announcing in terms of his decision. But according to the New York Times, Gascón is expected to ask the court to resentence Lyle and Eric Menendez. They were sentenced to life in prison, no parole for murdering their parents. This was back in 1989. The brothers' legal team said newly surfaced evidence supports their previous claims that their father sexually abused them for years, and that they killed their parents out of fear for their lives, and that their mother did nothing to stop this alleged abuse that had been occurring.
I am kind of curious about this though too, and I don't remember this part. And maybe somebody out there can give me a little bit of a refresher. But I am kind of curious as to what made them feel like their lives were in danger, aside from them being SA'd. Like, I get that part, like that's terrible. But I'm saying, what else did they say, or what else did they present in the courts saying that they were worried about their safety, whether life or death type situation? I'm just curious about that, because I'm wondering what they presented. It's just interesting.
KTLA legal expert cautioned against any celebrations just yet by the brothers' attorneys and also family and friends who've been pushing for their release, since it's ultimately up to a judge to decide if these brothers will remain behind bars or be resentenced. Defense attorney Mark Garagos and members of the Menendez family, they'll be holding a news conference. This will happen after Gascon's big announcement. We will be carrying both of those announcements live, so stay tuned to KTLA 5 News. Gascón previously said that he'd reconsider all the facts and new evidence in this case, like a letter Eric Menendez wrote months before the murders. It detailed the alleged sexual abuse, and he wrote this letter to a cousin. Gascón also said previously that it's important to recognize that both men and women can be victims of sexual abuse. The brothers.
Okay, guys. Looks like they're finally getting things moving, or there's some movement going on. How's that?
Thanks, Brian.
There we go. Let's go. Finally. Hamburger.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And before I begin speaking, I want to also introduce some other people that are here with me, and hope I'm pronouncing the names right, because I've seen handwritten part of it. But I have Ana Maria Barat, Jose Menendez, Jose Menendez, and niece Karen Vandermolen, and Kitty's niece. They're all here with us. Also with us here is Brock Lunsford. He's the assistant head deputy for the post-litigation conviction unit, and Nancy Cervier, who is the deputy district attorney in charge of the resentencing unit. Let me begin by telling you that this is a case where we've had many people in this office spend a great deal of time reviewing the case. I have to tell you unequivocally that we don't have a universal agreement. There are people in the office that strongly believe that the Menendez brothers should stay in prison the rest of their life. And they do not believe that they were molested. And there are people in the office that strongly believe that they should be released immediately and that they were in fact molested. I have to tell you that after a very careful review of all the arguments that were made for people on both sides of this equation, I came to a place where I believe that under the law, resentencing is appropriate, and I am going to recommend that to a court tomorrow.
Boom!
What that means in this particular case is that we're going to recommend to the court that the life without the possibility of parole be removed and that they would be sentenced for murder, which, because there are two murders involved, that would be 50 years to life. However, because of their age, under the law, since they were under 26 years of age at the time that these crimes occurred, they will be eligible for parole immediately.
Whoa!
The teams that have worked on this, on the resentencing side of it, have spent literally probably hundreds of hours by now looking at this case. These cases were originally presented on the habeas side of it, which I'll explain in a moment what that is, last year. And then the request for a prosecutor-initiated resentencing occurred earlier this year. And there have been people in this office working in these cases from the very beginning, as well as many other cases that we have. The reason why I'm here today and why I came in front of all of you about 10 days ago is because there was a more recent documentary about the case that again brought a tremendous amount of public attention. And we know there have been other documentaries, so this is not the first, this is the more recent one. And frankly, our office got flooded with requests for information. And even though this case was already scheduled to be heard in late November, I decided to move this forward because, quite frankly, we did not have enough resources to handle all the requests. And one of the things that I thrive to do in this office is to be very transparent in everything that we do. In this case, we review the prison files. And you have to understand that the way the process works, when you're talking about a resentencing under the law, it really focuses not necessarily on what the original crimes were, but it focuses on, has the person been rehabilitated, number one, and number two, can they be released safely into the community? Under that rubric, since I've been in office, we have resentenced over 300 people, including 28 for murder. Only 4 have reoffended. If that was a regular recidivism rate in this country, we would be the safest nation in the world, but we know that it's not. In fact, somewhere between 40 and 50% of the people that go to prison reoffend and get rearrested. And that's why we have so many problems. However, when you look at the case of the Menendez brothers, you see 2 very young people. One was 19 and the other one was 21 when they committed these horrible acts. And I want to underline, they were horrible acts. There is no excuse for murder. And I will never imply that what we're doing here is to excuse that behavior. Because even if you get abused, the right path is to call the police, seek help. But I understand also how sometimes people get desperate. We often see women, for instance, that have been battered for years, and sometimes they will murder their abuser out of desperation. And I do believe that the brothers were subjected to a tremendous amount of dysfunction in the home, and molestation. But they went to prison for life without the possibility of parole, which meant that certainly under the law at that time, they had no hopes of ever getting out. They could have done what many other people do, which is basically said, you know what, I'm here for the rest of my life, so I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to misbehave, I'm going to join gangs, I'm going to live the life of the person. But they never did that. To the contrary, even though they didn't think that they would ever be let free, they engaged in a different journey. A journey of redemption and a journey of rehabilitation. And often the people that begin their journey of rehabilitation and redemption in prison is often very internal. And what they do, and one of our lawyers pointed out this today, is usually the path is people try to further their education, do things for self-improvement, which the brothers have done, by the way. But it's more unique or less usual, I guess, when people not only do that, but they also begin to engage in ways to make life for others better. And in this case, the brothers have been doing so for a very long time, creating groups to deal with how to address untreated trauma, creating groups to deal with other inmates that have physical disabilities and may be treated differently. Even in one case, Lyle negotiating for other inmates as to the conditions that they live under during prison. And all this was done by two young people, now they're not as young, that had no hopes of ever getting out of prison. They have been in prison for nearly 35 years. I believe that they have paid their debt to society, and the system provides a vehicle for their case to be reviewed by a parole board, and if the parole concurs with my assessment, and it will be their decision, they will be released accordingly. I must underline, however, this case will be filed in court tomorrow. The final decision will be made by the judge. Court has to agree with my conclusion that they deserve to be resentenced. It is very possible that there may be members of this office that will be present in court opposing the resentencing. And they have a right to do so. And we encourage those that disagree with us to speak, and the court is the appropriate place to do it. We certainly feel we're very sure not only that the brothers have rehabilitated and that they will be safe to be reintegrated in our society, but that they have paid their dues, not only for the crimes that they committed, but because of all the other things they have done to improve the life of so many others. So again, we will be filing for resentencing tomorrow. We're seeking that they would be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole, as opposed to life without the possibility of parole, which is they currently have. That means that they would have 50 years to life because there were two murders. But because of the age upon which they were convicted, under 26, under current law, that means they're eligible for youthful parole. I think there is also important to have some introspection today, because I think that often, for cultural reasons, we don't believe victims of sexual assault. whether they're women, whether they're men. We saw in our first trial, which, by the way, they were tried twice. The first trial hung, meaning the jury could not come to a conclusion. And in fact, about half of the jury wanted to convict them of manslaughter, which, if that were have been the case, they would have been off prison a long time ago. And then there was a second trial, and then they were convicted of murder with special circumstances, which led to the life without the possibility of parole. But it's salient to understand that our own implicit and sometimes explicit bias around sexual abuse and sexual assaults often leads us to severe injustices in our community. And I want to speak to those that are victims of sexual assault now, whether you're a man or a woman. Know that we're here for you. If you're a victim of sexual assault in this community, and by that we're talking about LA County, not just LA City, you can come for help. Whether you're prepared to prosecute or not, we will be here for you. We have services for you. And if you're prepared to move forward with the prosecution, we will evaluate it as we do any other case. And if we believe that the evidence is there to present a credible case in front of a jury that can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, we would proceed accordingly. You do not have to suffer alone. You don't have to keep it to yourself. And help is here unconditionally. I'm going to say a few words in Spanish because I know there's tremendous amount of interest from the Spanish media. And I know that there are going to be other speakers today. And then we're going to open it up for questions. Primero que nada, quiero dar las gracias a todos por estar aquí hoy.
All right, we've been listening to DA George Gascón basically saying that he will file the case tomorrow for resentencing of Eric and Lyle Menendez, who were charged and found guilty of the 1989 murders in 1996. So this is something that we had kind of heard rumblings that he was going to go in this direction, but he did make it clear that other people in the office are not approving of this and believe that they are guilty and that they should be spending the rest of their life in prison, and that they weren't sexually abused.
Yeah, what Gascón wants to do is have them sentenced for murder, 50 years to life with a possibility of parole, because they were under the age of 26. In fact, they were 19 and 21 years old at the time of the murder. Brian Klingpole, I want to bring you back in here. One point he made that if they're up for parole, that means they would go before a parole board who may or may not necessarily agree with this or not.
Yeah. Hey, Glenn, great to be back with you. I mean, first of all, a judge at the end of November has to make a decision, right? I mean, right. George Gascón is not the judge. He's making what's called a recommendation to the court. We're not surprised. I think we talked a little bit earlier about this. Not surprised at all that his office is agreeing with the resentencing, but there's got to be a hearing now at the end of November. Then an independent judge has to decide whether to adopt what George Gascón wants to do and have a resentencing. That's the first decision. If the judge says yes, then you're right. Then they're not going to get out of jail at that point in time. There's got to be a parole hearing. There's got to be, information submitted to the parole board, and then the parole board would have to make a decision on that That would be months down the road.
If the judge is basically approving and moving it forward, is that something that influences the parole hearing and the board?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, just to be clear too, this isn't like a magical thing where Gascón gets on and says, "Hey, we recommend resentencing," and then on November 29th, the Menendez brothers are walking free. That's not how our judicial system works. First of all, Gascón is making a recommendation. Will that help the judge decide to resentence? Absolutely. Whenever a district attorney is saying, we agree with resentencing, it's hard then for the judge hearing it to say no. So at the end of November, on the 29th, I think you said, Lou, there'll be a hearing. That judge has to determine whether to move forward with resentencing. Once that decision is made, then Lou and Glenn, then the judge has to decide, what does that look like? are we going to resentence or not? In my opinion, there still
Yeah.
has to be likely some kind of hearing, some kind of evidentiary hearing before a judge decides, yes, we are going to resentence or not. And then after evidence is submitted to the court, then I believe the judge makes a decision and says, yes, we're going to resentence. And if the judge adopts what Gascón says, then to Glenn's point, then you go to a parole board and then seek to have these two young men released immediately because, as Gascón said, they've already served more than enough time for a murder charge as opposed to first degree. In other words, what Gascon's saying is this is second degree murder, not first degree. What's the difference? First degree requires malice, right? It requires malice. You're evil. You wanted to kill your parents. You shot them and shot them multiple times. Second degree removes malice. And that's where the child abuse fits in. And that's what Gascon's saying, that, hey, it's 50 years to life and they're eligible for parole now.
Yeah, in fact, they've served nearly 35 years. Again, Gascón said
Wow.
no universal agreement in the district attorney's office over this issue. So let me ask you this. We got an election coming up. He's running for re-election against Nathan Hochman. If, in fact, Gascón loses the election, and he is behind in the polls right now, and he did mention that somebody from his office may come and
I would also
all right,
like
we're
to
gonna go back to
other
the news
family
conference. We'll come back to
members
this
here,
later.
some
This is
standing, some
the
seated.
niece
Joan
of
Jose.
of Jose, a
sister,
cousin
as
of the
well as
Menendez
Diane
brothers.
Vandermolen Hernandez, Kitty's niece. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Today is a day filled with hope for our family. We are here because District Attorney Gascón has taken a brave and necessary step forward by recommending a resentencing for Lyle and Eric. The DA's decision reflects the truth that is hidden for so long, and I am grateful for his leadership in making this choice. We stand united in our hope and gratitude. Together, we can make sure that Eric and Lyle receive the justice they deserve and finally come home. Thank you to District Attorney George Gascón for his courage and leadership. This step gives us all hope that the truth will finally be heard and that Lyle and Eric can begin to heal from the trauma of their past. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Maria.
Yeah.
I believe Jose Menendez is going to say a few words.
This is the niece of Kitty
Oh, you're gonna
Menendez,
say- I'm sorry.
Joan
Okay.
Vandermolen.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you for coming. We are here today because District Attorney Gascón has taken a brave and compassionate step forward by recommending resentencing for my cousins, Eric and Lyle. And we wish to offer our deepest gratitude to DA Gascón. This decision is not just a legal matter. It is a recognition of the abuse my cousins endured, and we are grateful for the DA's leadership in putting justice over politics. We know this wasn't an easy decision, but is the right one. This is about truth, justice, and healing. It is time for Lyle and Eric to come home. And I ask all of you to join us in this fight for justice. We stand united in our hope and in our gratitude. Together we can make sure that Eric and Lyle receive the justice they deserve and finally come home. Thank you again to District Attorney George Gascón for his courage and leadership. This step gives us all hope that truth will finally be heard and Eric and Lyle can begin to heal from the horrors of their past. We hope this will also shed light and increase awareness and help others who have been victimized by sexual violence. Thank you all so much for being here today. We are grateful for everyone's support.
Is there anyone else speaking?
No, that's it.
Okay. Okay, and I apologize. I'm reading notes here and I'm trying to understand all the notes. Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain, so you go tomorrow, you file a case for resentencing, then what happens after? Are the brothers going to be there tomorrow? And when is the role of the parole board going to come in?
Right. And you know what? I'm going to actually have the people that are handling the case walk you through all of it. The brothers will not be there tomorrow. The role of parole board comes later. But Nancy, why don't you walk everybody through?
Okay.
Crazy, guys.
So
Pretty crazy stuff.
what we'll do is we'll file our. My name is Nancy Theberge. I'm the deputy in charge of the resentencing unit. This is Brock Lunsford, assistant head deputy of the post-conviction litigation division. So what will happen is tomorrow we will file the actual petition requesting resentencing with the legal arguments and accompanying exhibits as to why we think it's appropriate. It's just a filing. No one's going to physically be in the courtroom. From there, we'll also serve the defense with our motion and our paperwork so that they'll have their copies. And from there, we will coordinate with the defense to set up a court date with the court so that the petition can be heard. Now, whether or not that's a setting or a hearing will be decided between us and the defense and the court once everybody gets an idea of what we filed. Then from there at the hearing, the defense can either decide to have the defendants, the Menendez brothers, physically brought into court. They can ask that the individuals appear by video or audio WebEx, a kind of a Zoom participation, which we all kind of adapted to because of COVID. And then from there, we will do the hearing and submit all the written and legal and oral arguments and any evidence that needs to be admitted at the time. And then the court will rule at that point. But we don't have that court date yet because we're just starting the process tomorrow. But it's our intention to have that go forward before the habeas, because if the judge grants it, that may impact the defense's decision to proceed on the habeas. So we're gonna try it just as a matter of economy of time to stack it one before the other.
Now, have the brothers found out about this in real time, or were they told about this beforehand, or what was their reaction?
No, this
is actually the family was only invited to come. They were not aware what the final decision was until a few minutes ago. The brothers may be actually seeing you guys on TV or social media, but no one knew other than a very small number of people in this office. And by the way, I should tell you that actually the final decision was just made about an hour ago. Right, then it goes back to the prison system, and then the parole system takes over that. That's good. You know, those are really completely entirely up to the parole board. Please, we'll try.
You had mentioned all that made the final decision. You said the final decision was just made. Was it the letter? Was it the Menudo confession? What was it that put you over the top to make?
No, what it was is I was evaluating the arguments that were being made within my office, both pro and against the release.
DA, can I ask you?
Hold on, I had it.
Calls from
Yeah.
people that
I'm, you have made resentencing a cornerstone of your tenure as district attorney here in Los Angeles. There are some people who have accused you of using this very, very highly publicized, clearly case to use it for politics, given how close we are to the election. What's your response to people who have been making that claim?
There's nothing political about this. We have resentenced over 300 people, including 28 for murder. And we will continue to resentence people in the future. And that's all I can tell you.
But DA, question.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, please. You're interrupting.
Everyone's interrupting. I'm just wondering how your bid for re-election.
Yeah. What was that? What was that? Hold up, guys. That was ridiculous. Hold on. They're not even done. And they just cut that out like that. What the hell?
Everyone's interrupting. I'm just wondering how your bid for re-election.
Yes, please. Yes.
Could the brothers be home by Thanksgiving?
I don't know the answer to that.
There we go.
Why did you decide not to go with the reduced voluntary manslaughter?
That was part of the process that I was still going through up until a couple hours ago. I don't believe that a manslaughter would have been the appropriate charge given the premeditation that was involved in the murders. I believe that these were clearly murders that were premeditated. Now, the motivation, that's where, differences of opinion come up, but I don't think it would be appropriate to go all the way down to my slide. Yes, ma'am. Would you please stop? I am not going to talk about re-election, okay? So if you want to talk to re-election, go outside, we'll talk later, please.
Have mercy.
I'm sorry, you're interrupting, sir. Please.
Wow.
Pues depende, como estaba explicando la abogada, la encargada de esta unidad, la Corte probablemente va a señalar otro día donde los dos, la defensa y nosotros, podemos ir y habrá una evaluación de la evidencia. Si hay alguien que se opone a esta moción que estamos, este proceso que estamos iniciando, también la Corte va a poder oír todo eso y la Corte toma la decisión final.
Did your office announce the press conference before you made your decision?
Yes, because we're going to make a decision one way or the other. It's just a question of what the decision is
Was
going to be.
that just giving you a timeline to
If
work
you
with?
are no longer in office, what happens to this case? Could a potential successor undo what you're about to file?
Good question.
I don't think so. Once it's filed, it's filed. It's up to the court to take it from there.
Word.
Yes, I'm sorry.
In a parole situation, obviously you've got a policy of just not sending DDAs to those. Since you're obviously supporting the push for release here, how would that work? Would people from post-litigation resentencing, would they go before the parole board to argue for the release? Or that
No. We have a policy that we only send victim services advocate if the victim or the victim's family wants that support. We don't send lawyers to our parole boards to relitigate a case. The parole board is fully aware of what the initial crime was, the crime that led to the conviction. Their work is primarily to evaluate whether they're rehabilitated and safe to be released, and that will be the way here.
Can you break down the timeline for us? Can we expect a hearing by the end of the year? Do you know when we might get something on the books?
I'm hoping to get it on calendar, depending on the defense preparedness. I'd like to see it go to hearing probably within the next 30 to 45 days at the most. Because there's not much to argue because we're kind of a collective.
Okay, there's one more question, please, but related to the case, not to elections. If you want to talk about elections, we'll do
Related
that.
to the case.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to say right now to Eric and Lyle Menendez?
What we like to say to them, and it's we, because it's not I've made the final decision, obviously, but we have a whole team that worked on it. We have a family here that wants to be reunited, is that we appreciate what they did while they were in prison. While I disapprove of the way they handle their abuse, we hope that they not only have learned, which appears that they have, but that if they get reintegrated into our community, that they continue to do public good. Thank you so much, everyone.
Wow. Okay. That was crazy. That ending was really, really ridiculous. That ending was kind of ridiculous, guys. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It seemed like one of the reporters was like a rookie or something. I don't know. Just seemed like that reporter that was just asking the same question over and over again, and he wasn't answering. He's like, I'm not going to answer any questions about anything about re-election. You want to ask me about that? You could talk to me about it somewhere else. He just kept interjecting over and over and over again. That was very rude, in my personal opinion. It's like, get the memo, read the room. That's just ridiculous. Is this a ploy for your re-election? It's like, he's not answering it, so quit asking it. It's ridiculous. But regardless, here's the thing. Maria, there has been a decision on them putting out the recommendation on TikTok. She's asking this as we still got no decision yet. Technically, we don't have a decision yet. Okay, just to make that abundantly clear. We don't have a decision quite yet. But he did say, sorry, I'm just trying to pull up a little bit of the footage here so we have a little playback as we discuss. But he did recommend, he's saying he's going to recommend for a LA County judge to look and reevaluate all the evidence in these new findings, especially the letter that was written months before the actual tragedy that happened. And of course, let's not forget the Menudo, former member of Menudo, another victim that has spoken out as well. He's saying that that's enough for recommendation for an LA County judge to reevaluate everything and to give these men a resentencing. If this judge, so it all comes down to a judge making a decision. So Maria, yes, that's true. That a decision has not been made as far as the fate of the Menendez brothers' lives being behind bars forever. But a decision has been made to push it forward. So they are this much closer to freedom, this much closer. He says that if the judge sees this as grounds for resentencing, these men could be on parole immediately. Now, I want to make this abundantly clear. This could be months from now. But what's months in comparison to years that these men have already lived behind bars? Now, I know that makes a lot of people very, very excited, very, very happy. I know that it also makes a lot of people very sad and very angry as well. Because no matter what, I agree. Unaliving somebody is still unaliving somebody. Taking someone's life is never okay. But of course, I think this is the reason why there is such an argument. Even in the DA's office, he said that there has been a lot of people. It's been a split decision down. It's been a splitting up the room. Some people who sit there and say that they both deserve to be there locked up for the rest of their remaining life. Others say, no. What they endured, no, they need to be set free because what they went through is unjust, and this was their only way out. This is what they believed. He also even said that some people actually believe that the SA, this allegation of SA is fake news. That's also big as well. Remember, if you don't notice, some of y'all got pretty heated in the chat. I don't know why, but some of y'all got pretty heated in the chat. It got kind of split. But again, I can only imagine if it's like that in this family chat right now over here, imagine what it was like in the DA's office leading up to his final decision to come in here and say what he said. There are people who do believe the SA stuff, and then there's people out here that do not believe the SA stuff at all. Some people believe that they were doing this trying to find some sort of way of getting away from this hellhole. And then there's some other people out here that believe that they did this with malicious intent because they wanted money. They were tired of being under their dad and their mom, and they wanted to be free and take all the parents' money. It split the room. And it's even split the room at the DA's office, which is interesting. But again, some people were clapping. Some people were like, yes, like I see right here, Jordan saying, this is amazing news. They did their time. Well, some people disagree with that. Some people believe that they still have a whole lot more time left over because of what they did. But that's fine. Because people are going to disagree or agree no matter what. Some people look at the evidence and say, yeah, what they did, what they went through, parents deserved what they got. And then there's other people that sit there and say, no. Unaliving is still unaliving. Thou shalt not unalive. First, number one on the list of 10 commandments, is it not? The most important one. So I feel like there are going to be a lot of people that feel some type of way about this. But again, it's going to be very split. And this is how it is all the time. But let's talk about Kohberger. There are still people out here that believe Kohberger didn't do anything and that he's innocent. Let's not forget Karen Reed. There are people out here that believe that she should be locked up. And then there's also people who believe that she's innocent as hell and she has nothing to do with this. And this is some sort of crazy Canton PD cover up. Trust me. It's going to be split. There's always going to be a split down the middle in a room. Always. Some people say Trump should be elected. Some people say Kamala Harris should be elected. there's always going to be opposing ideas. Some people like pineapple on their pizzas, and other people walk the righteous path and eat pizza normally. Okay? I'm kidding. I've tried it. It's actually not bad. Pineapple on pizza is actually not that bad. It's not something I wake up from my slumber. Ooh, I need some pineapple on my pizza today. Hell no. But hey, I've tried it. It's not bad. But it's devilish. So let's move on. They apparently are saying, I'm joking. So if somebody gets upset about me talking about pineapple on pizza, holy God. Please understand it's a joke. Talking about nurses a couple days ago, somebody got Halloween costumes, nurse outfits, people got mad. So tranquilo, por favor. I love you guys. Yeah, pineapple on pizza is controversial. Nurse costumes for Halloween apparently is controversial. I can't win in this world. But moving on to this. So they are saying, obviously, immediate parole because of everything that has happened. This happened before they hit 25 years old. Both of these men, they should be able to walk free if they are granted parole or if they are granted a resentencing because they have already done their sentence. They could walk free, but they still have to file. They still have to go through all the paperwork. The judge has to still look through all that stuff to determine whether or not they get to be resentenced. So this decision is huge, and it is a decision, Maria, on TikTok. It is a decision nonetheless, but it's not a decision of like tomorrow they're going to open up the prison gates and they're just going to be free as a bird. No, it's not the case. Not the case at all. But I will tell you this. If it's going down this route, I wouldn't be surprised if, depending on where this file and this case, whose chambers this lands on, like whose judges' chambers it lands in, I have a feeling they're going to sit there and say, yeah, we can do the resentencing. That's what I think. But you never know. Apparently, this could take months before they make a final decision. But we'll find out soon enough. But everything starts tomorrow. I will say this, though. I'm sure the brothers are happy as hell right now. And to them, months are going to be days to them. That's what I honestly think. I honestly think that this is going to be a cakewalk for the next couple months. As long as they stay protected, as long as they stay safe and don't do anything crazy while locked up. But we'll see what happens. Debbie said there's also a petition for the Menendez. What petition? To keep them locked up or to set them free? I'm kind of curious about that. But let me get some of these super chats. S-Dubs, thank you so much. My B-Day is over Thanksgiving weekend. Great. For my present, and for being your mod, I would like the gift of happy birthday being sung from you to me, please. Sure. Remind me when we get to your birthday. How's that? Okay. And then you got a deal. April, thank you so much. We love you, Pascal. Love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Copen, thank you so much for the love. Should have allowed the CA in court. Oh, okay. Should have allowed the basically the essay in the trial the second time. I will say this. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I think that was unfair that a lot of the information that they had in the first trial was basically thrown out the window in the second trial. That was a big, and if all that stuff is 110% true, because it's still all alleged, except for the information that we're hearing about the former Menudo brother and the former Menudo member, I'm sorry, and the letter written by Eric. You have all that. Again, they took that stuff out. So anything that had anything to do with why they did what they did was thrown out the window. I think that's trash. I think that was wrong and messed up, and I don't know how that was allowed in that trial because they did not get a fair trial that time. Even though I think and feel that they unalived those parents in cold blood and it was wrong. That's the part that I don't agree with. And that's the part I have a huge, that's what's got me tangled up on whether they should have a shorter sentence or not. Because they still unalived their parents, y'all. They still did what they did. Even the DA said what they did was grisly as hell. He didn't say it exactly like that, but he did say it was bad what they did. Very, very bad. And I get it. Still gives them grounds what they found out. Still gives them grounds for a possible resentencing. Cool. But what's wild to me is that they didn't even get to have that presented, the SA or any of that presented into this trial the other time around. That ain't right. That part I'm not cool with. Because if that was a defining factor, if that was a definitive factor on why they went and bought those pew-pews and pulled the triggers on their parents like that, then those things should be presented in court. It's not like they're just making something up. Well, you know, some people believe that the SA was made up, but the fact that it was presented in court the first time and then it's just thrown out the second time is very odd to me. Very, very odd. But again, of course, you guys have put in your poll. I'm going to end this poll. Over 1,000 y'all put in your votes. I appreciate that. 57% of y'all say absolutely they deserve to be resentenced. That's what's up. Whereas 23% of y'all said, I don't know, which, yeah, I get it. I understand sitting on the fence. And 18% of y'all said, heck no, they shouldn't be resentenced. That's what's up. That's what's up. There you go. There you have it, ladies and germs. And again, I know people are going to feel some type of way about this for sure. No doubt. But I guess it's up to the judge. I think the next part is going to be what the judge says. I feel like the judge is going to sit there and go, send them through, and they're going to be resentenced, and they're going to be out. And next thing you know, we're going to have a whole bunch of books, whole bunch of movies. Seriously. There's going to be so many movies coming out. There's going to be a whole Menendez brothers movie coming out on Netflix or on Amazon Prime or Hulu. Shoot, Tubi. Wait for it. Wait for it. There's going to be books out with Kevin's face on it. With Eric's face on it, like, and it's going to say like, My Triumph, the Eric Menendez story. Wait for it. It's all coming. It's all coming. They got to make money somehow. Yeah, well, somebody going to do some like broke ass version of the Menendez story on Tubi. Have you seen the Carly Russell one before it got taken down? It was on Tubi. Maybe it's still on Tubi, but I heard that it got like a cease and desist, so they had to take it down. Remember Carly Russell? Cheez-Its? Granola bars. Remember her? With the redhead? Named Toby? They made a movie like that. Whole movie about it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they made a broke-ass version of the Menendez brothers one, too. Watch. It's going to come out. And they're going to make it. It's going to be on Tubi. Yeah, I really have. I really have granola bars. I really do have. I'm hungry right now, y'all. So I was smashing some granola bars, but I do. Okay. I don't have any Cheez-Its around me, but Cheez-Its are fire, just so you know. If you don't know about Cheez-Its, y'all need to educate yourself on some. They're fire. All right. But that's neither here nor there. We're not even talking about that stuff. We did talk. Here's the thing. We did talk about poo earlier. Just letting you know. That is the spectrum of this show today. It's phenomenal. Something else. So, what say you guys? You happy about this this movement towards resentencing, or do you think this is absolute trash? Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. It's going to be more than just docuseries. There's going to be a whole bunch. Yeah, Lifetime. Again, if they get let go, there's going to be a huge. They're going to be on sitting across from Gail. Wait for it. You also got to remember they will. Okay, let me just show you what I'm talking about. Because right now, just TMZ alone. Let me show you what I mean with TMZ. Just look at TMZ. Take a look at this page. Right now, I'm going to scroll through the page. The whole feed for TMZ. Menendez. I'm not clicking on other pages, guys. Okay, Pete Rose, moving on. Another person. Scarface guy. Liam. Menendez. Kylie Jenner, who cares? But you see what I'm saying? They already are putting out a lot of stuff about the Menendez brothers. There's already an obsession with it. It's revitalized the interest and the focus and all that. So get ready. Because when they get reunited, because they're still split up, if I'm correct. They haven't been in the same prison cell or prison in years and decades. So when they finally get reunited, people are going to be, when they're free, that is, people are going to, and I'm predicting this already. Wow. Sorry for the ADD, but man, you just called out Crackle. Wow. Crackle gone, though, baby. Ruthless. Crackle gone. But that's insane. Okay, moving on, though. They're going to film when they actually reunite. Watch. And then this is going to be one big thing. They're going to be sitting across from Gail. They're going to be sitting across from Hoda, if she's still working, because I think she's retiring here soon. But you see what I'm saying? They're going to do all of them. And in fact, I can see Oprah. Wait for it. It's all coming. Book deals, TV shows, movies, everything. You don't think that they're already started to pen? You don't think Lyle at least has already started to write his memoir about his time in prison? Just waiting for his chance to get free so that it could be a best-selling book? It's going to be out there. It's going to be out there. You tell the classic, you really don't think Oprah going to sit down with one of the biggest, highest profile cases, two of the people that headlined for years back in the early 90s and again headlining again? I'm just saying. She go sit down with them. She will. And then every true crime podcaster is going to try to get a conversation with them too. Wait for it. It will be a huge conversation when the decision is made that they are set free. Because I already know it's going to happen. They're going to be set free. We can already put that into the atmosphere because it's going to happen. If the DA already is sitting there going, I recommend you look at this and set these guys free, I have a feeling the judge is going to follow in suit. That's what I truly think. So in a couple months, it's going to be a wrap. And then there's going to be books. And they're going to be everywhere. Maybe they'll be quiet for a second. After all the hoopla and all the buzz, a book will drop. And it'll be either both of them together or both of them will write their own perspective, their own different book. But it's coming. It's coming. Let me grab some of these super chats. No one. None of these cases are black and white, so I'm not mad about the decision. They've served 35 years. In the end, we all face Judgment Day. That's right. That is damn right. You are right. You are right. No one. You are absolutely right. Yeah, there's a lot of gray. That's why I can see why a lot of people are sitting there going, hey, set them free because of all the gray. You're right, though. You're absolutely right. Let's continue on. Rianne, thank you so much. They've already united, by the way. Oh, okay. So they did, but they haven't been together in years now, right? So they may have reunited, but I don't think that they're staying in the same prison cell. So, or in the same prison. Sorry. They're in two completely different prisons. So we will see. Big Che, just so you know, on TikTok, there has been a decision by the DA to push forward a recommendation to the LA County, to a LA County judge to reevaluate some of this new evidence that just recently came out for the possibility of granting the Menendez brothers parole immediately. But this immediately could happen in the next couple months. They're filing tomorrow, and it could be months until a LA County judge makes the decision on whether or not they get a reduced sentence. And if that reduced sentence matches the time that they are served, that they have already served, then that means they get to get out free on parole immediately after the judge decides to set them to reduce their sentence. Just so you guys know. So this is crazy. This is very, very crazy. And I know the other side of the world that's very upset about this. I get it. I get it. And then there's the other side that is rejoicing right now. But the rejoicing needs to stop, for just be on hold. It could be on a low hum, but it shouldn't be at all full blast right now because it still has to get through a judge. The judge still has to make a decision. Let the judge make the decision. When the judge makes the decision and it's in favor of what you want it to be, then you can rejoice. But for right now, this is a step in that direction. They're this much closer to freedom. So they have something to celebrate about in that prison or in their respective prisons. They're about to break out that prison wine. Indeed. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Means a lot. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out my most recent video that I posted on the main channel, it's something fun. It's anything about crime or anything of that sort. It's just something fun for Halloween. It's just something festive. Go check it out. I did a little parody song. Just had a little bit of fun. So go check it out. It's on the main channel. Check it out. If you can, share it, that kind of thing. Put in a comment. That'd be amazing as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. Because like I said, I'm not covering any crime in that video. We're just having a little bit of fun. So if you enjoy it, hit the like button, hit that, put in a comment down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay. And maybe there'll be more like that in the near future. I don't know. Still thinking about it. We'll see. But check it out. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Anyway, hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Don't forget to hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms like the TikTok, like Rumble. Hit that reaction button. That'll be greatly appreciated. Don't forget, if you are watching on Rumble, TikTok, X/Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, show some love by simply hitting that follow button. Follow me on those platforms. Hit that subscribe button on my main channel here on YouTube. Go to my secondary channel. There's a video I just put up right before we went live. Please go over there and subscribe to that channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Make sure both notification bells are set to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random. Don't forget to hit that join button down below like a lot of y'all just did during this show. Welcome to all the new members. I appreciate you guys. But if you want to support even further, go check out Patreon. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show and locals.com/The Pascal Show. And of course, we got that merch. PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. Go check it out. We got some really great stuff over there. I'm sure you'll find some you'll love. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I will be talking to you guys very soon. Have a great, wonderful rest of your evening. I may be on in a few hours because Leilani Simon's jury is now in deliberation, but there's a lot of moments over the past few days that I'd love to watch with you guys and discuss, but it just depends. We'll see. Depends on what else is percolating in these streets, in the news as well. But I'll let you guys know very, very soon. Talk to you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Talk to you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.